As some of you listening will know, I am a huge Isaac fanboy, so yesterday, the day of the Afterbirth expansion release, there was only one thing I was going to be spending my free time doing, and boy did I spend time doing it. Around 10 hours I think. There are some issues. I faced some crashing which was annoying. The save import didn't really work perfectly. Put simply, it needs some fixes, but that's more or less expected. Overall, even with the bundle of issues it has, the expansion is brilliant. I'm going to talk a little bit about it as a whole and then talk about Lilith, which is the focus of this video. Spoilers throughout, so beware. So general comments on the expansion. New music, exceptionally great. In terms of music for the floor variations, I think the flooded caves stand out. And then in terms of the new boss tracks, Ultra Greed's theme is a real rush. And yeah, the boss itself is not too shabby either. As far as new items go, some of them are more exciting than others, and a few of them need tweaking I think, but out of everything I've seen I wouldn't call any of them a bad addition. The first time I used Glass Cannon, not realizing it was going to eat my health, was hilarious. And with that, let's move on to the new character, Lilith. Or, depending on the black metal bands you listen to, Lilith. This character is unable to fire tears of her own, instead starting with a familiar, whose tears, instead of hers, are changed by upgrades. On top of that, her passive ability, Cambion Conception, grants her permanent familiars after taking certain amounts of damage. Lilith really is the mother of demons. Her design certainly fits the theme and the mythology being drawn from, but how does she work in practice? Let's take a look. The most impressive feat of this character is making familiars desirable. Rotten Baby, as you see here, is normally nice, but the active item Lilith starts with bumps him up a notch. Her little 2-charge chest adds another copy of all her familiars. It doesn't double her familiars. If I were to use it again in this room if I had a charge, I wouldn't end up with 8 familiars, I just end up with another Rotten Baby and another Incubus, but it's still a potent item. With so many items that help charging, and now that large rooms give you more than one charge back, Lilith can get out of control quite suddenly. She doesn't just snowball, she has a tendency to avalanche. Boss rush with her, for example, is a joke. Each round grants her another charge. You can imagine how that goes. A downside, of course, a balancing factor, is the difficulty of controlling the aim. It is quickly overcome with a bit of practice though. One strategy is to walk away from your target, forcing your familiars to align. As long as you aren't starved for upgrades, that's pretty much all you need to think about. Just try not to get confused about where you are. Oh, and beware of fetus items. Although the bombs your familiar is shooting will be teeny tiny, they still damage you, though it is worth it for just how obnoxious things can get. In case you couldn't tell, the new character was what I was most excited for. So was she worth the hype? Yeah. She is a good addition to the game. With some tweaking though, I think she could be a great addition. In spite of people telling me she gets it automatically, when I unlocked her, she did not have that box of friends item. This clip is from late game in one of the runs where I didn't have it. If I had started with it, you can bet I wouldn't have gotten rid of it. It's too good. And that's my biggest criticism of the character. The active item she starts with, the item that's clearly designed for her, is too good. As much as I love the wackiness it practically guarantees, I can already feel myself getting bored of having the absurdity handed to me too easily. In a different context, I think it will be fine. As it stands though, with this abundance of batteries, all these items that make it easier to get charged faster, multi-round fights becoming a joke, big rooms giving you both of the room charges, Lilith runs go beyond just having this mother of demons, familiar swarm theme, and become samey. I love the zany broken runs, but Lilith at the moment feels like she started just a few too many steps into the process of becoming a broken run, to the point that I think I enjoyed it more when I didn't have the box of friends. Which shouldn't be the case, should it? So Afterbirth, brilliant so far. Love greed mode, love the new blue boss. Things that need to change: crashing, devil doors appearing in the abyss that you can't go through, the import issue, blah blah. Things I'd like to see changed as a matter of personal taste: nerf the shit out of box of friends. Like, I don't know, make it a 4-room charge. That's really my biggest criticism of this new character, who I'm talking about because they are what I was most excited about. And even though this video is meant to be about them, I've managed to include almost all my criticism of Afterbirth as a whole. As I've only played it for 10 hours, I'm sure more little bits and pieces will show up that I have a problem with. And there are still those early rooms filled with enemies that aren't hard to win, but just take time and get a bit tedious. But there's still only one major issue that should put you off this game, and it's the same issue there was with the original release of Rebirth. I don't know how the developers did this, but you can start playing at 10 PM, and then 10 minutes later, I swear, it's 4 in the morning. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.